What did you do during the war?
I became a Wren driver, and I was in the war for 5 years, and I was posted all over the country, into Scotland as well, but mostly at Immingham Dock, which was near Grimsby. And I used to drive the Admiral, I used to drive an ambulance, and we used to drive lots of lorries, and we used to go in convoy right down to Chatham, and it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. We shouldn't enjoy a war. We had lots of friends on the ships. They used to come in and have us to parties, and being drivers, of course, we were very lucky because we had a better time than anybody else.
Where did you drive to?
We drove from Hull to Chatham, and we went. I was all posted into Scotland in a commando place, and we also drove. I drove the Admiral in all over Lincolnshire, and there was a flag on the car, and there was a glass partition behind the driver, and he used to bang on the glass and say, "Not so fast!" So I had to slow down, but I used to like driving him really, because you felt you were of some importance. But there were bad things as well, of course. The galley in the camp where we were was full of cockroaches, and when we had late jobs and we had to go in and have our meal when we came back, which was kept hot for us, when you put the light on, the cockroaches covered the walls and covered the floor. And one day I remember having my dinner there with all the others, and there was a cockroach floating in my gravy. So after that I used to go to the YWCA and have beans on toast mostly. But that was the cheapest thing we could have, so we used to get £1 a week.
It was Geoffrey, your husband, who introduced you to acting, didn't he?
Yes, he did, yes.
Tell us
that started in the 1950s. He had been a prisoner of war for 5 years, and so they used to do a lot of acting in prisoner of war camps, and he got very interested in it. He was very musical too. So he decided with the lady who ran the WI that if they put on a drama group, it would be a good thing. And we were lucky because we had some young men and some young girls, and we had some wonderful productions. We used to take them into the Northern Arts competitions, and sometimes we won. And we took them all over. Once we'd done them, took them to places like Workington and village halls round about, and we had a wonderful time. Those were one of the happiest days of my life, doing the plays. They really were. Yes, I enjoyed that bit, and I've got a scrapbook full of the pictures of the plays we did. And Geoffrey used to produce, and Mrs. Hasty used to produce, and we used to learn our parts, and we would never miss a rehearsal. No, we were dedicated, and we were out most nights of the week. So those days were fun. There was also a dance club, and there were choir practices, many other things, but the week was absolutely full.
Which was the play you liked most? Which part in the play?
Well, it was the wife of the vicar in See How They Run, which was the funniest play, I think, and it went down the best of all. I just loved that. We were children. We were at Turner Howe then, and we all had bikes, and we used to go everywhere on our bikes. I used to cycle from Loweswater to Allenby to have a swim in the sea and back. We thought that was great, and we had very, very, very happy childhood. I must say, lots and lots of freedom, because there was no traffic on the road then, and we never went for holidays. Holidays were we thought, my parents thought that this was a lovely holiday place, so we never went to the seaside or anything like that until we were much older. But it was a wonderful childhood. Lots of things like red squirrels and birds' nests, and we were taught all those sort of things, and lovely wildflowers, and have to cut the grass on Sundays. My father used to say, "Now, you either help me with the lamps," that meant cleaning the lamp glasses, trimming the wicks and filling them with paraffin, because we didn't have electricity in those days. "You either help with the lamps, or you cut the lawn, or you go to church. You can choose which you want to do every Sunday." So we all decided, we went to church quite a lot actually, but in actual fact we used to say we'd rather do the grass or we'd rather do the lamps. but that was something we had to do as children.
When did the farm become yours?
Yeah, my parents bought it in the late, the early 70s, and then the milk quotas came in. The quota, the amount of milk you could sell, that came in the early 1980s, and it was myself that was getting up and milking the cows every day. At that point, the farm was, which is so typical of family farms, the farm was equally divided between myself and my three sisters on the death of my parents. So when the milk quotas were allocated to the farm, this was completely on the back of all the work that I'd done since I left college, because I'd increased the cow numbers and increased the litrage per cow. And as soon as they were a gift, because they were given to you, but as soon as they were given to the farmers, they actually developed a value. It was a European scheme to have milk quotas. Most of the other European countries, milk quota doesn't have a value, but it does in the UK. So then my twin sister wanted to know how much of the milk quota was hers.